Hi, welcome to Finding Your Cup podcast. Today we are excited because we have TJ with us. He is account executive from Radio Bismarck Mandan.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. Mojo 107.5 and the Big Rig 105.9.
Awesome. And just a little backstory. TJ has been coming in here, I don't know, for several years.
Several years, yeah.
Yeah. And we have a working partnership, I would call it. It's a great deal that the radio station does where they offer discounted, what would you call them? Coupons? I don't know.
It's a big deals promotion where we allow you, especially restaurants and people with food service, allow you to fund your advertising supplemented through trade. That means you don't have to lay out a bunch of cash to pay for your advertising. You can just take it out in trade. That way it gives you a little more leeway with your advertising because you have to be able to compete with the big people, but not everyone has that finance cushion to lay that out. So we kind of help out with that.
Yeah, and as a small business, I truly appreciate it because as TJ was explaining, our customers get a discount and we get free advertising. So we will work with TJ to write up radio ads, and I feel like we work very well that way as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'll have an idea and he'll write it up and it's great. And then I think almost every time I've gone in and recorded it.
Yep. Yeah. We are on 4th Street. So we encourage our clients to come in and cut their own ads. It's quick. It's easy. It's painless. I mean, honestly, I wish there was more to it because just about every time someone comes in to cut an ad, they're like, that's it? I was so worried. I told you, it's just us talking in a room.
It's true. It is very easy and I would add fun.
Yeah.
I've always had fun doing it. So, but the reason that we wanted to get together and talk is just to share our perspectives on small business in our community and, really the work that you do to help the small business and kind of, I guess, an owner's perspective on operating a small business in a medium-sized community. I don't know. What would you consider Bismarck Mandan?
Well, I tell you what, Bismarck Mandan is it's unique. I've lived a lot of places and it's a very big place that feels like a very small town.
I think that's a good description. Yeah, absolutely.
Like everywhere I go, I see people I know, restaurants, we'll go up, say hello to people. And that's what I love about this place. That's why I've lived other places, but I came back home because nowhere else is Bismarck Mandan. It's unique. It's beautiful. I love it.
It is. It is a great community. And I mean, really, the biggest downfall, as probably most everyone can agree, is the winters.
Yeah, that can be a trial.
But that is also why we North Dakotans know how to persevere.
Yes.
And I think that is a life skill everyone should have. Yeah. So really, I'm excited for our conversation. And I think I would just start out by asking you, what attracted you to the radio business? One, because I think the landscape of advertising has really changed. For radio, it's changed. It's because we're in this digital age where you can listen to whatever you want, stream it on your phone. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just really different from when we grew up.
It's almost a double-edged sword where you can have anything you want at the touch of a button. Because then you sort of lose focus. To be honest, I was thinking about this the other day. I think the reason I got into radio is because when I was growing up, my dad used to listen to like Dick Clark's Rock, Roll and Remember, American Top 40, and he'd record them all on a thing called a cassette tape, and he would write down the tape counter number and the song and the artist and everything. And I saw how much joy he got out of that. And I remember when I was like 7 or 8, I started practicing like my radio voice. Because this is just something, I don't know, I thought it'd be fun to do.
Yeah.
And the internet wasn't around back then. And even now that it is, I still think radio is the way to go. I just love it.
It's so funny when you said that about Dick
Clark.
Dick Clark, yeah. Because I grew up listening to Casey Kasem.
Yes.
Yeah. And
the top 40.
Yes. So my childhood best friend and I would get together and we would have our cassettes, ready to go, and you just have your finger on the record button, just waiting for your favorite songs to come on in that top 40 countdown. And it's so funny because even talking to my kids who have grown up in this digital age, they like to hear those stories because it's very there's something very nostalgic, quaint, and a lot of that stuff from the 80s and 90s, like the styles and whatnot, are coming back around. So I think having lived it, it's kind of fun to share those stories. And I'm actually, it's an interesting perspective, right? To have lived through such a rapid change from cassette tapes to CD players to iPods, and you know what I mean?
I was just speaking to someone yesterday. I said, I genuinely, I feel sorry for anyone who didn't get to grow up in the 80s, because that's when all the cool stuff happened. From black and white to color. You got VCRs, you got CDs, you got Walkman, every video games, everything.
Yeah.
It was the 80s.
Yeah, and if you haven't had to put a cassette tape back together by putting a pencil in and doing this turn to wind, everybody should have to experience that.
People have no appreciation anymore.
It's so true. But back to, I guess, modern day. One, you have a great radio voice. So, I can see why you wanted to be in radio. But tell us a little bit about your heart for the community, because you do have a heart to help businesses. I've learned that through just chit-chatting with you and thinking about, you helped me come up with, hey, what do you want to talk about right now? What can we do in the radio ads? And you do want to see small businesses succeed in our community.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. One thing I tell everybody, all my clients when I meet them, prospect, when I'm looking to sell radio, what I tell them is, Walmart doesn't care if everybody else closes, but I have to live here. Right. Yeah. So I'm trying to keep everybody in business, because if you notice, there's places where one business goes out, they'll close up shop. That makes it harder for all the businesses on either side to succeed, because now there's one less thing to bring people down there, and it's the domino effect. It's like, losing a tooth. You lose one, pretty soon they're all going to start going out. So I just want to keep everybody in business, so there's more for people to do, and more to draw people in. That's about the size of it.
Yeah, and I think too, it's a great thing that the radio stations do with these programs where they offer the discounted coupons or whatever for customers to purchase and then come in, because it draws business in. I can always tell when a new batch, if you will, has gone out because they come in. But for a small business such as ourselves, it's a labor of love. And because I probably speak for most small business owners in similar positions as mine, it is a labor of love, and it's because we have a passion for community and creating community, and that's what we do. That's the heart behind what we do at 12 Stones, and of course, quality product. But that isn't always enough to draw people in. And we're on the south side, so I know that we appreciate anything that we can do, and we don't have a large advertising budget. So working with you is very helpful. One of the questions I would have as somebody who is in promotion and advertising and cares about community, what are some of the most effective ways that you would say are to draw people into businesses such as ours?
Well, honestly, I'd like to say that, for example, capacity is not indicative of quality. Like Starbucks can sell more coffee, but they're even the people who are helping you, they are your neighbors, but the manager who's there is not calling the shots on how those people are treated. That's someone in another state who's never met you, doesn't care. One of the things I look for when I'm approaching a new business, if I can use you for an example,
absolutely,
is I come in and when I'm cultivating or prospecting a a business I'm looking to approach, the first thing I do is I come in, I look around, is it clean? Are the employees happy? Are they eager to help you? Do they ask, hey, can I take care of you? One of the things I love about this place, it's spotless. You've got quality product. Your employees care. And that's the kind of thing I like to promote. The way I do it is, as opposed to corporate is fertilization. I'm cultivation. They will spread, wherever and see what pops up. Mm-hmm. I'm going after the people who I think are going to best serve their customers, because ultimately I'm the one who's attaching my name to you. So if I send someone to a place where everyone's rude and the product is, unsatisfactory, then that impacts my credibility in the future. So I pick and choose who I go after. Now, ultimately, if someone calls a station and says, I want to advertise, we're not going to say no. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, the defense attorney who knows their client did it, but they're still entitled to defense,
Right.
But what I look for is the quality and the people who actually care about doing. When you said passion, that's exactly what I'm looking for, because that's how I feel about what I do. If you care about what you do, you're going to do a better job. You're going to put more into it, as opposed to someone who's just turning up for the check.
Yep.
I'm not in this to get rich. I just want to be able to drive around town in a few years and say, that didn't used to be there. I helped make that. And in my small way.
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same. One thing that's, I think, so important too, is that we really as owners, my husband and I, as owners of 12 Stones Coffee, we really care about our employees, and our employees care about each other. And that translates into caring about our customers, who are we call them our 12 Stones community. And I do think that comes through. And that's one of the things that we always try to share or talk about, because I know that I'm most likely not going to be making the big bucks doing this someday, and that's okay. That's never why I got into it. I mean, sometimes it's hard, right? But we want to make a difference in the community. We want to be a place where people call a second home, almost, if you will. I was just talking about this the other day with someone. We want everybody to come in, to feel welcome, to want to hang out. We hear people's stories, and we try to share those stories if it's appropriate and if we can. I mean, that's why I started the podcast as well, is because we want to get some of those stories out in our community.
Yeah.
That's why we're talking, because we have same heart, the community, and you really have been helpful. And it's funny because as starting out, I remember the first year or two, I think sometimes even I was so skeptical. I was like, how I'm going to get free advertising out of this? You kind of maybe get a little bit jaded, because I've lived in the really big cities, and
if it's too good to be true, it sounds too good. It
yeah.
is.
And here I'm a new business owner, and I'm like, I don't want to get taken for a ride. And I mean, I don't know. I honestly think I had my guard up a little bit too much.
That's
times.
Totally understandable.
But now I just see it as a win-win situation. And it's really been a benefit, and honestly, probably haven't even talked to you enough about other ideas. But I do love, you email out a newsletter, because
sound advice.
Yeah, because the heart behind it is to help small businesses, and I've really seen that in our community, and very, very thankful and proud to be part of this community.
Yeah, I'm the same. My dream is my objective is to sort of be like a universal business adapter. Like when I go to one place and they say, "Oh, I need something printed up," hey, I know a guy. I've got a big event coming. I want someone to bring me coffee and biscuits. Hey, I know a lady who can bring all that stuff to you. I want to get everybody connected, because the more connections you have, the stronger everything is overall.
Yeah.
And it shows. When one person needs something, we're all there to help. And that's what community is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's nice because here in Bismarck, I sense that there's more among, I'll just use coffee shops as an example, right? Because that's my business. Yeah, we're competitors, right? Because that's the nature. But ultimately, we all want to see each other succeed. Because, as you said before, we are like a medium-sized community that feels like more small
town.
more small town, and we don't want all. Okay, corporate businesses have their place. However, the heart of this community and communities our size is small business. Even in big cities, really truly the heart of the big cities is a bunch of small businesses.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is the uniqueness of every community you visit, because any big city you go to, or speaking, I guess I should just speak personally. I want to go and I want to explore. I want to explore the small restaurants. I want to explore the small coffee houses, because that's where I'm really going to get the flavor of the community or the personality. Yeah. And if we lose small business, we lose our personality.
Yeah, because, a national burger chain's a national burger chain. And
yeah,
corporate media has its place.
Yeah.
National news, national ad campaigns for big national corporations. I mean, that's great. You got to get the word out to a bunch of people, because the message isn't going to change, because they're all the same.
Yeah.
Right. Now, for a business like yours, that's where independent media comes in. If I could just do a quick plug, we're the only locally owned independent media outlet in the area, which means, number one, everything you spend with us stays with us. Number two, we're your neighbors. We know this place. And so at the end of the day, we answer to you. You know us. You're going to see us on the street. Whereas, some corporate media out of Chicago that calls you up on the phone and says, hey, you want to place an ad? You don't know them. You don't know where they're at. Who are you going to complain to if something goes wrong? And at the end of the day, they're in it for the money, which, I understand. They got to make their money. But, at what cost?
Mm-hmm.
If I go out and I were to say to you, we got this great deal, and then I take all your money and don't deliver, well, now I got my money, but now I still see you on the street. I'm not going to put myself in that position. I'm not going to do that. Mm-hmm. I want to see everyone succeed, because I know there's enough room for everyone to grow. And we've got so many ideas out there and so many passionate people. And I want to see them all put something together, build something. Let's see what we can do together.
Yeah, that's true. Small businesses have a lot more accountability. We definitely are and should be held to a higher standard, because it is our neighbors ultimately that we're serving, and losing a neighbor hurts.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I mean when I say we care about each other, and that's healthy.
Yeah, and another thing about as a local media as opposed to non-corporate, we don't have departments. Like, you'll have someone who does sales, and then they make a sale, they pass it on to someone to write the copy, and then it changes hands so many times. With me, you deal with me. I came and sold you. I write the scripts for you. I'm there when you record. I send them out to you. I say, does this sound right? Does anything need to change? You can get a hold of me anytime, day or night. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, what makes us special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And it's something I've definitely appreciated. I think another question that I would ask you is, how do you see the landscape of small business and even radio, changing in the next, let's just say, 5 to 10 years?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Things are evolving so quickly. It's amazing. Now you got your online marketplaces and this and that. A lot of people are getting into digital, mm-hmm. And they'll sway you with buzzwords like, oh, we've got these click-through monitors to measure customer engagement and blah, 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 blah. And just because someone clicked through your article or whatever, unless they follow a tab to your store and order something online, there's no guarantee that them seeing that translated to a sale. I was speaking to a guy who owns an electric company a while back, and he said, we're putting our money into social media because, we can get concrete results. I said, well, you might be able to see who's reading this stuff. He said, well, that's where all the younger people are. And I leaned in and I said, how many young people do you know own their own homes? And he kind of was baffled for a second. I said, when they have a wiring problem in their apartment, are they going to call you or are they going to call the landlord? And he's like, yeah, that's a good point. So you got to think about that. Like, digital is great, but you got to know your audience, and all this geofencing and yada, yada, yada for $15. You put a stick in your TV, you never see another television commercial. Mm-hmm. Radio, I mean, even when you don't realize we're there.
Yeah.
And it's going to take 90 to 100 days. We're very upfront about it. It's going to take 90 to 100 days to build that top of mind awareness, especially if you're an unknown quantity. People don't know you. They got to get used to hearing your name. And there are things we do, especially with new businesses. We'll do a tag or something like with creating community through conversation and coffee. So those things all have a through line to connect them. That's just something we like to do to help sell the businesses. We get to know you. I try to avoid catchphrases like with you every step of the way and more, like all those tired cliches. Everything, like when I write ads for you, everything is from the ground up. I mean, I don't reuse things. I consider it like an exercise, and it makes me, I am hoping, better at what I do every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting. So you touched on like social media and metrics a little bit. And so these days, social media is very important. And we here at 12 Stones, we have a large portion of our customer base is college age or 20 something, and so we do definitely need to use it. But what's interesting is we don't sell anything online. I mean, we do DoorDash and we do something called Joe to Go, but I mean, as far as selling off of our website, we don't sell our merchandise there or anything yet. And so I always think it's interesting. Just as an example, a couple months ago, we had a reel that went viral. And so, I mean, it was reaching people all over the world. And so we were getting comments and likes and new followers. And it's fun in the way to see it, have that effect. But then as a business owner, I'm like, well, how can we monetize this? Because here's the deal, we're not national. We are a small business in Bismarck, North Dakota. We are not an online store. So really what we've done is provided entertainment, good, clean entertainment. And I think that's good, because everybody we're bringing joy. So you look at it that way. We're spreading joy across a much larger, area than where we're located. But again, going back to as a business owner, it's not really affecting my bottom line.
Yeah.
And so it's one of the things that really I think about, and I'm like, well, okay, how can we get this to affect our bottom line? Certainly local people that are seeing it, and we've created more of a buzz with our social media, and that's awesome. But a video that goes viral about our product nationwide or worldwide really doesn't right now does not really, Yeah.
It's a curiosity, but it's not really padding your bottom line.
Exactly. So yes. So I definitely recognize the value of having ads on the radio, and am thankful that with the partnership with the big deals, and then that translating into advertising does reach a greater local audience.
Yeah.
And gets our name out there. And like you said, they're hearing it repetitively. And yeah, maybe it takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it, and it works.
Yeah. I mean, think where you'd be if you'd started 6 months ago is what I tell people. What would happen now? And big deals. There are other voucher programs with corporate outlets, but Big Deals is unique in that we give you everything up front day one without exception. Because if we're coming to you, that means we believe in you. I don't just walk in and say, hey, you want to get on the radio? I assess, because not everyone is right for radio. There might be some businesses that just, don't need us, wouldn't benefit. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'm sure there must be one. With us, everything's yours day one, so you can plan for it. With other places, they'll say, okay, you give us your gift cards, whatever, and we'll put them online and we'll sell them. And when you've sold enough to advertise, we'll get back in touch with you and say, okay, now you have enough to advertise. Well, how are you supposed to plan for that? What if you got something coming up now that you need to advertise? Well, you just lost your window. Mm-hmm. With us, we give you everything up front because we're fairly certain that you're going to succeed. Another thing is I'd like to bring up is I had a client who's runs a tow truck business, and he didn't advertise anywhere except with us. And he would ask people who'd come in, how did you hear about us? Well, we saw your commercial on TV. Well, he's not on TV. He's not going to tell them that, but he's not on TV. But the way I write my ads, I try to use visuals. So it's easier to stick in your head than just words. Like you picture stuff like, oh man, I want to go get some of that sunshine in a cup from 12 Stone. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's that kind of thing. And that's how I make that connection with people. So it sticks in their head. But then I'm also kind of hurting myself because they don't realize they heard it on the radio.
Yeah. Which this is just a fun question that just popped into my head because I was thinking you are a customer of 12 Stones as well. What is your favorite drink?
My favorite drink, my go-to is the large. And I don't recommend for the uninitiated to jump right into this. It's the large iced cold brew with 2 shots of espresso. I call it the extra black.
And he's right. I mean, it's tasty, very tasty, and it'll get you going. But yeah, cold brew already has actually more caffeine than regular drip brew. Just the process extracts more caffeine, the brewing process, and then
love it.
And then you throw 2 shots of espresso in there, and woo!
Yeah, I got a heart like a Volkswagen. I wouldn't recommend this to just the guy coming in off the street.
Yeah, I mean, so right now I'm just drinking straight up cold brew, and I just did a small in this cup. So that's a good place to start. This has been very fun, and I should mention we're excited because we're actually going to do a multi-part series. So I'm sitting in on this interview with TJ, but the next episode that we have will be with our manager, Kirsten Anderson, who she's in that 20-something group that I mentioned. And so which I so appreciate having a manager, right? That's Gen Z. I
think so, yeah.
I know, I always get all the
ones who've never known a world without internet or cell phones.
Yes, yeah. So it's been really helpful as a business owner with a coffee house who we serve multi-generations, which again has always been a vision. I love that because we all teach each other. But because our proximity to the University of Mary, we are blessed to have so many students, and my manager is a connector. I always call her that because she has that gift. She just connects with people everywhere she goes. And so she's been a blessing to have here. And also I really appreciate her perspective. So I'm very curious and excited to hear that interview when TJ comes back and they have that interview. So, yeah. So thank you.
Thank you.
This has been fun.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. And thank you for watching Finding Your Cup. And we hope to see you next time.